Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Nural and today I'm going to be sharing a scrapbooking video. For this layout, I'm again using the paper pad that I've been using for my recent layouts. It has these two sheets of stickers and then a bunch of different patterned papers, and each paper is repeated twice, so it has different dots and stripes and more birthday related pages like a party theme. And I've been using this pad for all my holiday photos, and today I'm gonna be scrapbooking my son's birthday. For this page, I selected one of my son's photos and had it printed larger than the rest of the images I'll be using. And because of the print size, it has this white border around it. And I'm gonna be cutting that border to leave just about 1 millimeter from each side. And the reason I'm not cutting it all the way through is I want that white border to add another layer or an element to my page. So I'm gonna be backing it up with another plain page and then add the pattern paper behind. So it's gonna look like I have 3 layers instead of just the 2 that I'm using. As usual, I'm using the little hands-off photo splits that are sort of like double-sided little squares, and I'm backing up my photo with a light green printer paper, which is quite thin, so I can't really use it for anything else, but it looks nice behind the photos mostly. And the inspiration for this layout actually came from a sketch that I saw in the Scrapbooking Nerd Friends Facebook group. So I'm using this sort of arrowy pattern paper to match that sketch that I saw, and so the inspiration comes from that. And later on I'm gonna be adding my embellishments looking at that sketch again, but for now I'm just gonna trim down the sides of this page, and since it is larger than my normal papers, I can't really cut it with my paper trimmer, so I'm just gonna be using a ruler and a regular blade basically to cut it down. And then I'm gonna be making sure that the sides are straight by using my regular paper cutter. So it's gonna be a lot of cutting for this one big image. But I just want to make sure that it looks right, and I cut all 4 sides to leave about the same size of border, but now it's bigger than the A4 that I'm gonna be putting it on top of. So for that reason I'm cutting 2 sides even more, and what I'm gonna end up getting is a photo backed up by a patterned paper that is thin on 2 sides and sort of thicker on the other 2, and it's gonna look nice, don't worry, but it's gonna take a little bit of cutting and coordinating. I'm just gonna go around the image one last time to make sure it's all straight, and then the page is gonna be pretty much ready, at least the photo will be ready, and then I'm gonna be adding the embellishments. And as I said, I saw this sketch on the Scrapbook Nerd Friends Facebook group, and I'm gonna be using it as the inspiration for the placement of my embellishments. So I'm gonna add the hooray on top and then some additional stuff on the bottom. And for now I'm just gonna try a few different stickers or die cuts from the paper pad and see how I like it. So as I said, this is a photo taken on my son's first birthday, and that's why the theme is happy birthday and the gifts and everything. And I'm just trying to make sure that I get the embellishments in a right order and that I like the end result. So it's gonna take a little bit of trial and error. So I'm just gonna be switching the places of a few things to make sure that I like it, and then I'll get to sticking it all down. after a little bit of fumbling around, I think this is what I like the most. So now I can get to stick everything down onto my backing paper. And for this, I'm using the glue tape. And the reason for that is this is faster than those little squares, and it makes it easier to stick everything down. And I'm sticking my photo right in the middle as was in the sketch, and then adding the embellishments to the top and bottom of the page. So I added the hooray on top, and I'm adding this little gift boxes on the bottom, and to the corner I'm gonna be adding sort of like the balloons, and to the top I'm gonna add this text that says celebrate. And these little glues are actually sort of like thinly cut, so it's easy to use for such small embellishments as well. For the balloons, I'm just going to be sticking my tape down the middle, and as I'm going to be putting this into a binder, it's not going to matter that I don't stick the sort of like the ribbons hanging off of the balloons. And now I can move on to the second side. For this, I'm again using the same light green backing paper, the A4, and it was just enough to fit this photo lengthwise, so that was just perfect for me. And now I'm gonna trim it down and make sure all the four sides are the same width, and then get rid of this excess paper so that I don't accidentally stick it somewhere. But after adding this green, I'm gonna be adding this dotted paper behind it. And the reason for that is because it has the same color theme as the arrowy paper that I used on the other side. So I think it coordinates quite nicely. And again, I'm gonna be cutting it with this ruler and the X-Acto knife. To make sure that I can do the further trimming down with my paper cutter. But since, as I said, this is bigger than what I normally use, it doesn't fit directly into my paper cutter. I'm just gonna trim it down on all sides to make sure that all are the same width. And in the meantime, just a little reminder, if you hadn't done so yet, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell button so that you get notifications for any of the videos that I upload. Okay, back to the layout. The top image is done, and I think it looks quite nice and organized since I use the same pattern papers from the same set. And for the bottom images, I'm not going to be doing the little green border as these are smaller, and I'm going to use this sort of like a party themed paper that I had already used in a different page and cut it up, so I have sort of like half of it left. And I'm gonna be leaving the border about 3 millimeters thick, I would say, so it's not as thin as the green that I have on the other two images, but it's not as thick as the pattern papers that I've been using. So it's sort of somewhere in the middle, and I think it looks quite nice like this, and that it's all coordinates. And now I have just a little bit of paper left for further projects. All the trimming is finished, and now I'm ready to organize my page layout and see how I like it next to the other side. And I decided to use the big photo up top and then the other two smaller photos sort of at a different level than each other. And then I'm gonna be adding more embellishments to the bottom like I did in the other side of the page. And as was done with the first side, this is gonna be a little bit of trial and error because I'm gonna be trying these little embellishments to see where I like them and how I like them to fit with another. I'm sure that I want to use something that says happy birthday, so I'm just gonna go back to the pack and see what other happy birthday tags that I have left. And I see this little candles that I might use, and there's this little birthday and then another one down at the bottom. So I think I might use one of these, as this is my son's first birthday, and the first birthday layout that I'm doing, I want to make sure that it says enough happy birthdays all around. So I'm just gonna add this little arrows, I have candles up top, and then see how I like these happy birthday tags on the bottom. So I might use just one on the bottom and then add this little cake, or I don't know, okay, maybe two happy birthday tags. One of them has the same paper pattern as the paper that I used for the photos, so I think this looks quite nice. Okay, I'm ready to stick everything down. I was saying how easy it is to use this tape roller, but I just ran out of it, so I'm gonna go back to using my photo corners for sticking the photos into my page, basically. And it's gonna pretty much work the same way, as I'm just adding them to the corners of the image, and for the bigger ones just a little bit more to the center so that it sticks properly. But it's not as hard as doing it with a glue, so it works pretty well. And after I stick the three photos down, making sure I like how they look, I'm gonna be adding the embellishments as I did with the first page. And I quite like using this set of pattern papers because I have my stickers, or rather embellishments, that coordinate with the paper as a set, so it's quite easy to select different patterns and different embellishments and switch things around to see how you like them. It's definitely easier than using different pattern papers and then trying to coordinate them with different embellishments. And one negative thing I can say is that since these papers are larger than what I'm used to using, for some of the designs it was hard for me to use, so I gravitated more towards the dots and the stripes rather than the pattern papers that said like happy birthday or follow your dreams. So I ended up using mainly the bigger patterns that I could cut up easily than those that sort of needed to be used as a whole. Anyways, I'm almost done with this layout. I'm just going to be adding this final flag embellishment to the bottom here, and then this is it. And I quite like the result, and if you do too, make sure that you hit the like button, and I'll see you here for the next video. Bye!